In the previous video, you learned that 99% of seniors suffer from joint pain and numbness without realizing what their bodies are missing. In today's video, we're exposing the so-called healthy foods that are quietly destroying your joints and shrinking your muscles day by day. Millions of people eat these foods every single day without realizing they're slowly damaging their own bodies. Walter is 70 years old. He spent his entire life as a high school gym teacher in a small town in Minnesota. Even after retiring 5 years ago, he kept up his healthy habits, waking up early, walking around the park, and eating what he believed was a balanced diet. He didn't smoke, didn't drink, and was often praised as a model of healthy aging. But then, something strange started happening. One winter morning, Walter tried to get up from his favorite recliner, and his legs trembled. His knees ached. It took him over 10 seconds just to stand up. He blamed the cold weather. But then it happened again, and again, every morning. His hands began to weaken. Opening a jar required both hands. Simple tasks like putting on a coat or tying his shoes became exhausting. He went to the doctor. The results? Normal. No broken bones. No acute arthritis. No pinched nerves. Even his cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar were within a healthy range. So, what was silently draining the strength from Walter's body? A nutritionist later looked at his daily meals and said something that left him speechless. It's not your age, Walter. It's the food you're eating every single day that's weakening your joints and shrinking your muscles. For many people, turning 60 feels like the beginning of getting old. But what most don't realize is that after age 60, the body can lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass each year, if not properly supported. This is known as sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. At the same time, collagen in the joints, the protein that keeps them flexible and cushioned, begins to degrade. Joint fluid dries up. Knees, wrists, and shoulders begin to stiffen, ache, and swell. But because it happens slowly, most seniors believe it's just normal aging. Here's the truth. Aging is natural, but how fast and how well you age depends largely on your diet. Studies in the U.S. and Canada show that most people over 60 consume too much sugar, refined oils, and processed foods, and not enough high-quality protein. That's the perfect recipe for chronic inflammation, collagen breakdown, and accelerated muscle loss, even if you're eating 3 balanced meals a day. Walter is a prime example. He lived a disciplined life and followed what he thought was a healthy diet, just like the commercial said. But it turns out Walter was making 5 common mistakes that millions of older adults repeat every single day without even realizing it. And now, let's uncover each of these mistakes, starting with a seemingly harmless breakfast. For the past 10 years, Walter believed he would start his day the healthy way. His typical breakfast? A bowl of instant whole grain cereal with big bold letters that said high fiber on the box, a slice of toasted white bread with a bit of strawberry jam, and a glass of boxed orange juice labeled 100% juice. He proudly called it a clean breakfast, no grease, low fat, easy on the stomach. And honestly, it looked good, sounded good, until Walter found out this was actually the most damaging meal of his day. A nutritionist explained, "Walter, your breakfast is like a sugar bomb going off in your body. Instant cereal, even when labeled whole grain, is highly processed, stripped of fiber, and sends blood sugar soaring. That blood sugar spike causes insulin to surge, triggering low-grade inflammation throughout the body. White bread, same problem. Strawberry jam, basically a spoonful of liquid sugar with a touch of berry flavor. And boxed orange juice, even if it says 100% juice, contains as much sugar as a can of soda, with none of the natural fiber from a real orange. Worse still, these sugar-heavy foods create something called AGEs, advanced glycation end products, harmful compounds formed when sugar binds a protein. AGEs destroy collagen, drying out and stiffening the cartilage in your joints. Muscles also weaken because your body lacks the raw materials it needs to repair them. Walter was stunned. That clean breakfast he'd eaten every day for years was quietly damaging his joints and shrinking his muscles from the inside out. Walter had another little weekend ritual. He treated himself to a classic breakfast. A few slices of crispy bacon, 2 smoked sausages, a piece of toast, and a cup of black coffee. It's just once a week, he'd say. I need more protein to keep my muscles strong. But when the nutritionist reviewed that weekend meal, she shook her head and said, Walter, that's not real protein. That's a bundle of chemicals disguised as savory, crispy goodness. Processed meats, like bacon, sausages, ham, and deli slices, are loaded with nitrates, phosphates, preservatives, and especially ages, the same compounds that wreck joint tissue. Ages are formed when food is grilled, fried, or smoked at high temperatures. They don't just break down collagen in joints, but also harden muscle tissue, slowly robbing the body of its flexibility and strength. Processed meats also trigger systemic inflammation and accelerate cellular aging. The World Health Organization has even warned that these meats increase the risk of colorectal cancer, but few people realize they also contribute to joint degeneration and muscle loss. Walter was shocked. He had always believed that more protein equals better. But now, he understood not all protein is created equal. Real protein should come from clean, minimally processed sources like salmon, eggs, boiled chicken, lentils, and chickpeas. From that week forward, Walter made a change. He left the bacon behind and began rebuilding his strength with natural, nourishing proteins that didn't need a frying pan to be powerful. By the time Walter turned 65, he became more conscious of his cholesterol and heart health. He started reading health magazines, following TV advice, and gradually switched to fat-free milk, 0% fat yogurt, and cut out anything with oils or visible fat. He truly thought he was doing the right thing, but in reality, it was yet another mistake, one that quietly weakened his bones and muscles. The nutritionist explained, Walter, fat isn't your enemy. Healthy fats are essential for your body to absorb vitamins D and K2, 2 nutrients that help transport calcium into your bones. By drinking skim milk, Walter wasn't getting the fat-soluble vitamins his body desperately needed. Even worse, many low-fat dairy products are loaded with added sugars and thickeners to improve taste and texture. The result? Too little fat plus too much sugar equals chronic inflammation. And without vitamin K2, calcium ends up depositing in your arteries and joints instead of your bones, increasing the risk of arterial calcification, osteoporosis, and chronic joint pain. Fat is also a key building block for cell membranes, helping maintain muscle elasticity and repair. Once Walter understood this, he ditched all the low-fat labels. He switched to organic whole milk, unsweetened almond milk, and added more vitamin K2 sources into his diet. Within a few weeks, his joint pain eased, his flexibility improved, and his mind felt clearer than it had in months. Walter had always prided himself on being a smart grocery shopper. He read food labels. He chose low-fat salad dressings, sugar-free energy drinks, and low-calorie granola bars. He was sure he'd cut out the dangerous sugars and oils. But reality hit hard. The nutritionist showed him the hidden ingredients inside these healthy choices. High fructose corn syrup, HFCS, a cheap, processed sugar found in hundreds of packaged foods. Canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, industrial seed oils high in inflammatory omega-6. Hydrogenated oils, chemically altered fats that damage cells. HFCS is especially harmful. It causes blood sugar imbalances, triggers glycation, and destroys collagen. It hides in everything, from ketchup to sugar-free snacks, using artificial sweeteners that still spike insulin. Industrial seed oils are just as dangerous. Though often labeled heart-healthy, they're highly refined and oxidize under heat, forming toxic compounds like peroxides and aldehydes. These wreak havoc on your cells, dry out joint tissues, and weaken muscle membranes. Even without you feeling it right away, Walter was in disbelief. The so-called healthy foods he trusted were quietly sabotaging his body from the inside out. From that point on, Walter made a rule. Read every ingredient list. Avoid anything with HFCS, vegetable oils, hydrogenated fats. Instead, he began cooking with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, real butter, and whole foods, the kind his grandmother would recognize. 3 months passed. Walter, the man who once had to grip the arm of a chair just to stand up, could now walk 30 minutes every morning around the lake. He could even climb stairs without knee pain. He didn't take painkillers. He didn't get joint injections. The only thing he changed was what he fed his body every day. I didn't need a miracle, Walter said. I just needed a new breakfast and to stop trusting fake health foods. The body knows how to heal if we stop poisoning it. Walter knows aging is inevitable, but how we age, that's a choice. He shared his journey with friends at the retirement center. Many were shocked. They thought they were eating healthy. But it turned out the most familiar foods were the ones doing the most damage. Walter smiled. I'm not 30 again, but now I can stretch, bend, walk, and feel free in my own body. So if you or someone you care about is dealing with stiff joints, weak muscles, or numb hands and feet without a clear reason, take a moment to look at what's in your kitchen. The answer you've been searching for might be in your fridge, your drink, or your salad dressing bottle. If you think mistake 3 was the most surprising, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Let's see what shocked you the most.